whatever milestones that Black people make against hate, it ends up benefiting all the other people of color. I can't see what his end game is. The Republican Party is the party of racism, is the party of white supremacy, is the party of hate. This is wrong, and it needs to stop.
Everybody wants to go back and drag that piece of history up, but they don't want to go back and deal with what their ancestors did to the indigenous people and to Black people in this country. You got to go. And you got billionaires talking about going to space, and Jeff Bezos, go, never come back. I hope you get lost. This man has lost his mind.
Come on, girlfriend. What is up, everybody? It is Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that is sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and being part of that collaboration last year, reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 dads and fathers around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We're broadcasting live on November 12th, a day after, in Canada, we call it Remembrance Day. So honor to anyone who has served in the military and defending our freedoms. So it's appreciated, not taken for granted. It's Saturday night. No better place to be than hanging out with, well, today, two wonderful ladies. Our third wonderful friend is not with us today. It's State of Things with Aisha and Jill and Lala. And unfortunately, Alicia is not going to be with us. Like, she's not feeling, she has no voice. But hopefully she's watching live and she can come in with comments. But ladies, what we say, what to go on?
It's Saturday night and I ain't got nobody.
You got somebody, so don't go there.
I know.
I
got somebody.
You got two bodies. You got your husband and your daughter.
I do. Yeah.
But you got both.
Awesome. We all got through the week. Hip hip hooray.
Hey. Oh.
I know. Lala, how's it? She's in like the hub of everywhere, Kentucky. Lord Jesus, what the heck?
I'm side-eyeing everybody. I'm side-eyeing everybody at the grocery, at the everywhere.
Good evening, Jen. Hope you're doing well also. Good to see you as always. This is State of Things. And obviously with the past week in America, we ain't going to be talking about too much other than the midterms. But outside of the midterms, Lala, your travels are going well?
Yes, they are. And everything is good. I'm getting the family in order. But I'm like, this is my time of year. It always is. So, I mean, the holidays to me and home and smells of home. And so I am really looking forward to the holidays because we don't do the gift and all that. It's not what that is. It's the feeling of love and just being able to spend time together. And I think after the pandemic, we see just how precious that is than gifts. I don't need things. True. I need love. And when I come home, I got love.
Didn't LL Cool J say, I need love?
I need love.
No, I got nothing. What was it? I got nothing but love for you, baby.
Right. I got nothing but love for you.
D? Was that Heavy D?
Yeah, that was Heavy D.
Heavy D. All right. Oh, he was so good.
He was.
Oh, man. And especially him dancing in the videos.
Oh yeah. Really a good spirit.
Oh, loved him. And I love him during here we go. We're already talking music, family. Sorry, but you're going to have to live with it for a few minutes.
It's kind of hard not to.
Like Lala, Jill, come on, but the extended video version of All Right by Janet Jackson, where he makes a cameo appearance.
Yeah. Amazing. Yes. And honey, she is looking good.
She is looking really good.
Is she touring again?
Yes.
Okay.
I heard she was, yeah.
Oh, actually, I saw, who else is touring next year? Anita Baker.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And the Eurythmics.
The Eurythmics?
The are getting together and they're going to start doing some shows.
Whoa,
Oh.
that I could do that. I mean, I was really upset. I missed the Pet Shop Boys here in Hollywood Bowl during this October. I missed it. I was like, because they've been bringing back a lot of '80s bands.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn it.
Well, yeah, the Pet Shop Boys.
I love the Pet Shop Boys.
Okay, Depeche Mode.
Depeche Mode, I love, and they're going on tour. I think next year they have a new record coming out.
Wow.
They will be on tour. Yeah, unfortunately, they had been working on it when Fletch died. When they were there, right?
Yes.
But they had an announcement like a month ago that they're coming back and they will be touring.
Wow! But there's only one bad thing going to see those bands. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
That's true. It is.
Yeah.
Well, they expect all of us to have made money, but they don't. They need to take that into account.
Yes.
That not all of us, were that.
He's forever saying it's his last tour, but Elton John.
He can't give it up. There's certain things that you just can't. It's in his blood. He's been doing it too long.
He's been doing his farewell tour forever, and
it's gonna happen for him on stage. I don't know how he's gonna, like Benny and the Jets and mid. Yeah, he's never gonna quit. I don't think Elton John will ever retire ever.
Well,
get back.
I'm happy for Joni Mitchell.
Tiny Dancer.
Oh God.
Yeah, great song. I mean, I'm just really surprised that he's able to keep that momentum because he's got a lot of songs to sing. It's just like his catalog is wicked. Like it's amazing.
Well, I think his most recent tour, he was playing the complete Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album.
Yeah.
Which,
beautiful record.
Oh my! From top to bottom, every song is solid. Like I think I've mentioned before, one of my dream concerts would be Elton John and Stevie Wonder.
Oh wow!
both keyboard players. Like Stevie did all his stuff, and
that would be cool for them to do.
That and Bernie Taupin wrote all.
Taupin wrote it.
Yeah, but because both of them so great at the keyboards, and it was we will get to the election mode, folks. But there is life before and past the election. Thank you very much. But if you go on YouTube, folks, if you're a real serious fan, look up Elton John, Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding, New York. What's a popular park in New York?
Washington Square Park.
No,
Central Park.
Central Park.
Central Park.
It's like early 1970s. Amazing. And there's thousands of people in the audience. And to me, that was Elton John at his height. That stuff from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and he's playing the keyboards, the band's there, like just phenomenal stuff. Love Lies Bleeding in my hand. I can give all the notes, I can give all the lyrics of that song. If you ask me right now, I can give you most of them right now. But whenever that song comes on, I sing right along with it.
Wow, good to know.
Absolutely, it kills.
Love Lies Bleeding in my hands.
Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding. That's the first song on that album. It's about 11 minutes and something seconds long. Funeral for
That's when you could do long songs and really get it in. I mean, let's face it, the 70s music, it took you on a journey. Like you would come in with strings, long intros, like Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, you went through 5 songs before that happened.
Freddie Mercury, what a singer. Freddie Mercury.
I often think that, when we look at having those long songs and long intros and long vamps, outros and everything, it was such a different era. It was like the era of making out with somebody that you liked after school when they come over. And so to have like a make out, song, you looked for the long ones. If you're on a ride in a car or something, you didn't want it. So it's so funny. It really speaks to what we all got up to,
Leave it to Jill D. Jones to give it a whole different perspective on songs.
They don't do that now. Everything is quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah.
And now they want to make it shorter. And I'm just like, that's not sexy. Quick, fast, that's not sexy for me. Long.
Anymore. They want it short and fast.
They do, which says a lot about a lot of things.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Including the making out.
Making out. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, damn.
But you know what? And to me, like one of the most, and people don't think about this, but one of the songs that really changed music forever was "Video Killed the Radio Star"
Yes.
by the Buggles.
Yep.
Yes. I was just bopping that the other day.
Oh, look, we got it. Oh, look at music. Here we go. I'm Not in Love by
I'm Not in Love.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes, it was that was a great makeout song. And also let's remember, we also had our cassette recorders on the radio, and if it's the song came on, you'd be like, click, you know, and you press it.
Two buttons, the red and the white button. The red and the
You
white.
try to wait for the DJ to shut up, and you'd be like, shut up.
Yes. And we did that. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
And then that could be your new makeout. Like, you know, if you couldn't get to the store in time, like today, my husband and I went to, you know, the pet store, and he went in to get, you know, the cat litter. This is our exciting life. And I'm sitting there and Family Affair comes on, you know, Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh,
and I was like, I remember when that record came out, it was just on repeat. I couldn't, it was infectious.
I'm Not in Love.
Yeah, I'm Not in Love was long.
I love that song. Anything by Bread, I also loved.
And I had a makeout room. Like, okay, so my family worked. I did. It was off the side of the laundry room. So it was so funny because, you know, I was like, oh, okay. And I'd play I had Brothers Johnson all up in there at one point.
Strawberry
Brothers Johnson, but yeah, that one was a good hour.
Stomp.
And I'm kind of wondering now, like some of those boys are probably like not even familiar with the playlist, but because also remember, I got everybody's records because of the Gordy family. I got shit from all record before it was even out sometimes. And you know, sometimes they weren't sure of it.
Where's that vinyl?
The vinyl, I don't know. Maybe my stepsister has it still from the house or something, you know. But seriously,
get my hands on that vinyl.
A&M used to have like a lot of. That's how I got into Gino Vanelli. Like,
Brother to Brother.
Oh my God.
Woo,
I was a huge Gino Vanelli fan, like to the point where Tina Marie used to call me Mama Coco. And I was a little bit more cocoa colored back then from the sun. It was but she'd always be like, "Hey, Mama Coco, how you doing?" Like it was always that because she knew I was like in love with those 70s with the Moog coming in and all those.
And his brother played keyboards.
Yeah,
Ross Finelli.
Absolutely amazing. I love those grooves. Were like
that song, Brother to Brother.
That was when he kind of like went real commercial. Then he got commercial, and there was like that song Appaloosa. But I liked it. I liked the one album that was called The Gist and the Gemini.
Ooh, wow! Bring it, Jill. Bring it to me. The Gist. That's a record.
I haven't thought about that in a while.
That's sick. That record was sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta. Regina's.
And then people gotta move. People gotta move.
I love
you gotta move. But I like the keyboard. The keyboard parts were nice.
Yeah,
and the programming. His brother. Yeah, amazing.
Like Gist of the Gemini. That is a record. That is a record.
Yeah, it was
really.
I was listening to it last year or during the pandemic. I had a resurgence, and my poor daughter was like, I remember in the car with me, and I was going through it. It's just an old Gist of the Gemini page. And I'd say, listen to this. Have you ever heard this? And she was like, yeah, okay. You know, like after a while, I was like, and then this album, and you hear that Moog in there? Yeah, I mean, you. And she's like, okay, all right, I gotta go.
So Jen's going 70s music is my absolute favorite. J-Rug.
Living inside myself.
Hey, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, J-Rug. Thanks. And like people are, you're actually listening to our music talk. You probably do you want us to talk about the midterms?
I tried to work with him and he turned me down. I was so
No,
devastated.
really?
Yeah, I did. I was like, and we had this similar management company at one point, and he was not even dealing with any Prince chicks. I was like, damn. That really bruised me for a bit because I'd worked with Ryuichi Sakamoto, and then it was like these were
electric. He did a song electric. I gotta find the name of that song. Keep on going, Ryuichi Sakamoto.
And so you try to meet your heroes at least, who you think, and that didn't happen. But I was like, okay, well, whatever. I still. That's that.
Ryuichi, man, Jill, you're pulling out some names. Ryuichi Sakamoto.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name in a minute.
What was his Japanese band? I forgot what they were called again. Now I'm having a senior moment.
It's all right. No, and hey, Jill, here's news for you. Ryuichi Sakamoto tribute album set for release this December.
Oh wow, nice.
Okay, gotta be looking for that one.
I wonder who's doing it. Who's working on it?
But here's the funny thing: he has a soundtrack to a Netflix anime series, Exception, tribute to Ryuichi Sakamoto.
Nice.
So it's here, and there's it's a tribute to Ryuichi Sakamoto to the moon and back. We'll see artists such as Devontae Hines, Electric Youth, David Sylvain of Japan.
Yes, David Sylvian's
Sylvian, sorry. Yes. Gentlemen take Polaroids.
Yes.
They fall in love. They fall. Oh, man. Whew. Okay, well.
Okay.
I'm going to be up all night now because we done got into music. I'll be listening to it all night.
Oh, my. So, Cinema, thank you. We are here. Regina says, The Soul of the 70s is an amazing YouTube compilation that lasts about 3 hours. Check it out. Used to play it for my students all the time.
Wow.
J Rug says,
nice.
We lost Joe Tsai of Sigma Sound in Philly. He is responsible for a ton of Philly soul records.
Just recently too, right? I thought I saw somebody post that the other day. I know that he was like a legend.
Cinnamon loves you. She says, senior moment. You are young for that, Jill.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And J Rug says, yes, he did Lou Rawls. You'll never find another love like. Oh, that song. You'll never find another.
I remember him singing that song on the Grammys, and a feather from the show, the act before, there was still some feather residue, and it's alive at that point. I don't know why, or whenever they did it, and a feather flew in his throat, and he started coughing all over. You'll never find. And he just, because it was some disco band was before with a bunch of feathers. It was like, that was a classic.
Oh my! So this must mean we got it definitely, as the end of the year is coming up fast. We got to do a music show. So
for sure.
Thank you, family. We've got to do a music. So we're just gonna go through all stuff. And what I'll do to promote is I'll do a YouTube live and say, hey everyone, we're doing come on in and give you share some of your favorite tracks and the moments associated to them.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was a lady that I had a huge crush on in university, and I was so blessed to get a date with her. And it was on a Saturday night, and what song came on? Love Will Find a Way by Lionel Richie.
Oh wow. Oh, you're kidding.
I was in heaven saying, oh, this song is so beautiful.
And when it comes on, you're kind of like, oh my God, it's like kismet.
Now I won't give the lady's name, and I still remember her name, by the way, so I won't give it out in public. But yes, I'm gonna have to see what she's for now. That's another conversation. All right, so Almighty Ben says, please do a music show. Yes, we will, Jed. We will. Yeah. All right, family. This was the appetizer. Main course is starting now. The U.S. midterm elections.
We're still in the cliffhanger. Dun, dun, dun.
So true. We
there
really are.
So many. Look at this, and the music people are still. Please, Dr. Vibe, please, sir, please. Okay, okay. Jill does that better than I do, by the way. She does. Jill, can we get a please, sir, please from you?
Please, sir, please, no, please, please, sir, just a bit, please.
Okay, we need we have to do some. We got to have a voiceover with that for our show.
Please,
So, please.
We've been please sirring for a long time in this country now. Wow, isn't that
All right.
crazy?
Let's talk about Tuesday. So, where do we start?
I think here's where we start. I'm sick of these people talking. It's going to be a blue wave. Oh, it's going to be a red wave. No. This tells you right now where America stands. We should not be at this point in our history. We should not. The fact that we are still seeing these evil and good so close together tells you a lot about America. I'm side-eyeing everybody that I'm around because I don't know for real what they really think about, because people are not talking. The loud talkers always talk, but the ones to be aware of and scared of are the ones that don't say nothing and just go and vote. So this proves that many people behind closed doors are still not opening their mouth. It's frightening. Yeah, it's frightening.
Well, I will say, living in Canada, look at this. Cinema Goes is saying here, midterm elections, Florida, what a disappointment.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised.
Okay, I don't know. Do we start with the good stuff or okay, let's start with this. Georgia's
lost. Georgia is not gonna let no person of color get up in there unless they want them to be a puppet. Now let's be very clear. Herschel Walker doesn't know how to spell his own name. That football career of his has made him dumb.
It's so true.
And he can be terrible. A puppet. They are paying him to be a puppet. Can you imagine what it would be like for him to sit in that seat and then Lindsey Graham and all this is how you need to vote. Okay, we're gonna vote this way. You know, everything that he says out of his mouth is a complete madness and self-hate of himself. Period.
I mean, I'd have to say that I thought, like Lala just said, that that the red wave and the blue wave, it was more like a Wendy and Lisa moment where she was like, Wendy, is the water warm yet? Because it was really hard. It still is very hard to see, like, okay, what we're navigating here. It was a slow rush. But I wasn't surprised by Florida, Georgia, and Texas. And we should really pay attention to those states. It's so critical. I saw one of the Uvalde moms who just said her daughter, she feels, died for nothing. I mean, we all can't even come together and agree that guns are bad because these people are so set in their ways. But my whole thing is, can we please help these people move away from Texas and move out of like Florida? Florida, let's be really straight up. Miami-Dade, racist, always has been. For anybody to pretend that it didn't exist, it just was divided a little bit because of this, because of money. But it's a racist little place because of the light-skinned Cubans and the dark-skinned Cubans. Many people haven't been to Cuba. They don't but they know how the hierarchies are.
News here. Yep, CNN and CNN just called Nevada. Wigmaniac saying we're keeping the Senate.
Good. Thank God. Good God. For real. Wow.
Like for real?
I'm going to take a look offline.
It takes them forever to like want to say who won.
What is up with Nevada? Do they not know how to count? Did somebody not show them Sesame Street?
No, it's country. In parts of Nevada, it's country.
You have to wait on them every time.
I know. Because of they made laws about they can't count the election votes from like mail-in ballots. They have to do it the day of the election. And then the Republicans say, oh, you're taking too long. But it's that in Georgia, Nevada, all the places where we're waiting on, basically. California is having some really weird moments, but
Are
we'll
they?
we will. Yeah, we're not. Katie Porter, we got to really hang on to Katie's. Really, it's tight. In fact, all of it's tight
Yeah.
everywhere. And I think they wanted it that way, the way the GOP rigged it and different gerrymandering things. But yeah, Katie, come on, girl.
I want to go back to Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kemp basically landslided Stacey Abrams.
Yes.
Let's take that race first. What
Mhm.
is the future for Stacey Abrams?
I think most of her work and her benefit is going to be the hard work behind the scenes. She's already proven that. So much so that's why they're afraid of her, and that's why they'll never let her in, because she does such a good job.
But
And
black men betrayed her.
yes, they did. Yes,
And
they
they've been all Kardashianed out as far as I'm concerned. And they can all the basketball players with their made up wives who all look the
yeah.
same and all their plastic dolls that they bring.
Mhm.
They've set a tone in this country about
Yeah.
black women. And they when there's only like a few, like, there's where are the beautiful they don't celebrate our black sisters properly, like our more brown skin melanated sisters. They're not doing it, and it's kind of, and
It
to the
really
point
is.
where they almost hate them. It's like, look at what they're doing to Brittany Griner.
Oh,
They're playing basketball off her back.
I
This
mean,
woman was convicted because she had residue inside a vape. All she had to have done was throw away a vape. I have been saying this for the longest time. At first, I was like, okay, the first person to say, if you have to do something and you did it bad, hey, they're right to do what they did. But
and
Russia's
now we
fucked
don't even
up.
know where she
And
is.
now we don't even know. So then for me to look and see that there's 12 African American men who took jobs to play basketball because they can't play here, they have to go there too. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I
They
saw
set
that.
the tone. I think that black men are burying our black women,
Oh,
metaphorically. They're
oh,
serial
I have to
haters.
agree with Joe.
Serial
I really do.
haters. They would rather go get a BBL girl than one who had one for real. This is where they are so self-loathing that they have cut down our whole community. Stacey Abrams only told the truth and educated the men. Now, because she may have a little bit more education, I'll tell you something which is really crazy here, Dr. Vibe. There is a situation here in this country. I have some friends who have gone to HBCUs and whatever, and the pickings for men in the community are a little slim because they don't like women to be more intelligent than they are.
No, they
And
don't.
then when they have gone and gone to the universities, they go and come back with, women who
I
are,
can only say that's a generalization. I can't accept that totally.
it is a
No, in
generalization,
some
but it's just
communities, it's
general in the fact
true.
that it's hard for young women to find decent men anyway right now. There's more surfing online, sexting, doing women's backs than there are legitimate men who are decent for young women to pick from. And if they do have it going on, oh my God, it's like everybody's after them. So I don't know. That's just my take on it. But it may be a generalization, but there's something true about this generalization.
Well, I want to bring it back to the election because that's a whole other conversation.
They dogged Stacey Abrams.
They
They let people dog Michelle Obama. And you know what? They dog Brittany Griner because they're also incredibly homophobic too.
Okay.
So,
I want to move on then.
I
So
know.
let's talk about Warnock and Walker. Obviously, if this is correct that Nevada has gone Democrat, that race doesn't matter as much, but I think it's still an important race.
Because we gotta be able to choke out Manchin and old cinemas. Remember, they're the worst for us.
Yes.
They got us here. They helped us get here. So we
Yeah.
have to win we have to still win. And the truth is, we will win Georgia. We will.
I believe so too. And you know what? I have pretty much stopped donating because it just makes me sick to my stomach. But in this case, I will send some money to Warnock. Because I really believe in him. I do, and not just because Herschel's so stupid. And I don't care what people think. I think that man is absolutely atrocious. He needs to be thrown somewhere to get some real education for himself because he's just dumb. But I really believe in him.
I know.
And I like where he stands. He's nothing but honest. And I like him. Period. So guess what? He does get a donation from me because I need him.
Me too. And all the favors were called in on this election that Trump could call. But now what's interesting about the fact that everybody now has determined he's not worth the favor and they're all going to be watching their backs a little, that those favors are not going to work this time. It'll be a little bit harder to corral them because they're like saying, wait a minute, this dude, orange dude, is about out the door. They've got 1/2 a foot up his. So no one's going to even start vouching and coming. So if Walker wants to win, he's got a dilemma of understanding, am I going to like align with the orange guy?
But
or am I going to separate? He can't.
He's stupid enough to do it.
He is. But I'm telling you, even the favors that Trump called in for them people to get out and vote, they're not going to be there because.
Yes. And that was a very clearly.
And they can't be. Some of these people are like going, oh, wait a minute now. I might have to like make some agreements and operate like a real country now and vote. You know, we don't even have a proper whip anymore in the House. Yes. I mean, Kevin McCarthy, all of the MAGA people are calling him a rhino.
They sure are. Honey, they're eating each other. They are nothing but eating each other. They're nothing but crabs in the bucket. And what do crabs do? They not only pull other crabs down, but they eat them. They're eating their young. That's exactly what they're doing. And we're just sitting back watching them. As vile and nasty as they spit out every day, right. You are watching them implode upon themselves, and good.
It's That's true. We started seeing it a little in Orange County with like this Chinese woman, Michelle Yee or Yang or whatever.
I her.
Oh, now she's acting like she never even heard of Donald Trump, really? And she's totally voted down the line with him. Every Republican who was in office before, which is why I'm no fan of, some people started going around, let's make Liz Cheney the the speaker. She voted against the Voting Acts, right? You know, so I still can't get over that. I'm still, their memory, see, the Dems have short memories.
She did one thing right, and that was go after Trump.
Exactly.
But while he was in office, it was, yes, check. No, honey, that doesn't erase what you are. Your leopard is still showing. It ain't never changing.
It's so true because she really basically was not on our side. She never has been. Her ego just got bruised by Donald Trump. So, I mean, there was a part of me which was like, it's okay. She's got her family, her money, her dad, her money, her dad, her kids, her husband, her money. Losing this job don't mean.
No. And honey, you know, she don't write a book. They all write a damn book. And they go on tour.
They all tried to act like we really needed her in the January 6th committee. No. We really didn't. What really? It was just for like, oh my God, we didn't really need you, girl.
No, he hung himself. I mean, he still got the strings going up this. Hopefully we'll see.
Let's move from Georgia, Pennsylvania.
Yay!
Betterman.
But you know what's is all the sore losers like, is he gonna show up in a hoodie? I said he can show up naked on the floor, and I don't care. As long as he does his job. I'm so glad that Oprah, as much as Oprah sometimes get on my nerves, I'm so glad
she came through
out and spoke up against him.
But there was something weird that started to happen in the later days, and I don't know. It was really kind of awful and disgusting to see, but there were many videos running around where certain people who were talking like this, and I'm gonna like vote for Dr. Oz. He's Muslim. What? I swear to God, I saw it on Reddit. I saw many people like going, that's a different story.
Yeah.
And that was the kind of the last straw where it really took fire. They don't want to talk about it. It took fire.
America's girdle is always going to show.
Thank you. There were people who were like, I can't even deal. They literally, there are women online. If you look, there's one guy, Danesh, who did a whole thing about all these people on TikTok who all of a sudden were like, that's a different story. And they went off. And that was, to me, I knew kind of from then, like, I don't think he's going to get it. Because you're right. America showed its girdle.
Honey, ain't no American melting pot. Y'all remember the Schoolhouse Rock, Great American Melting Pot? Because they never agreed. They like to do the dream. Oh, come, dream. But no, this ain't the truth.
I mean, I know some of those parts of Pennsylvania very well. There's certain, they are white as can be. There's also a very strong working class. And then there's just like, even in Philadelphia, as international and cosmopolitan as it is, there's still little areas that are hardcore old Italians who forgot that they were once discriminated against.
Yeah.
I mean, they legit forgot.
Okay, so just
I think some of them stayed home.
I'm just reading here. So I'm just reading here. Reuters News. Democratic U.S. Senator Catherine Cortez Masso has won re-election in Nevada. Edison Research projected on Saturday in a victory that guarantees the Senate will be controlled by the Democrats in 2023. Cortez Masso defeated Republican challenger Adam Lexall, a former state attorney who was endorsed by former President 45.
Because the mail votes came in, they said.
Yeah, with Masso's victory on the heels of the Democratic Senator Mark Kelly winning the re-election in Arizona late on Friday, Democrats now control 50 seats. That is enough to cement the Democrats control the Senate in 2023-24. So if Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock were to win the December 6th Georgia runoff election against Republican challenger Herschel Walker, that would expand the Democrats' majority to 51 to 49. That in turn would give Democrats an additional edge in passing a limited number of controversial bills that are allowed to advance with a simple majority of votes instead of the 60 needed for most legislation. Currently, Democratic Senators Joe Manchin in West Virginia and Kristen Sinema in Arizona are the swing votes who have blocked or delayed some of Biden's major initiatives, including expansion of some social programs. But with 51 seats in the Congress,
we don't need them.
Yeah, it convenes next year. Manchin and Sinema's influence could be slightly diluted.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true. But they better recognize, because Kristen Sinema needs to pay attention to what's going on in Arizona. Because, to be honest with you, she hitched her wagon to being a Republican, and it doesn't look like it still could go more. It's still more purple than she knows, and the odds of it becoming even more purple through the years are greater. So if she doesn't become a Democrat, then when it's time for her reelection, she'll be gone. Because she's going to have to do good in order to even get voted in the reelection.
So Jay Rugg says, know a lot of Italians like that in South Philly. They forget their history.
Yeah, what is it, like Bella Vista and different Bella? There's a couple of areas. Yeah, he's right.
Wigmaniac should depress turnout in Georgia now that the Senate is a lost cause.
Know.
Regina, let's hope they abandon Walker now. They're not going to ban him.
They're not going to abandon him.
They're not going to abandon him. So let's talk about what else.
But he should quit. He should just resign and say, I need to go take care of all my kids.
That's a good one, Jill.
So, and I mentioned, and I know last week we talked about, Aisha especially talked about polls.
Yeah.
How did the polls mess up again this time?
She said they weren't going to matter. They haven't mattered in years, right, guys?
And actually on election night, I got so tired. I think I even posted, I'm done with y'all. I'm going to bed. I'm not going to hear nothing till tomorrow or in a couple of weeks anyway.
I know.
I'm not going to make myself sick over this. I'm not going to do it. And I don't pay attention to any polls because they're all wrong. I was happy that my state, Kentucky, did kind of do their thing with the abortion rights. I was proud of them on that.
That's what, but see, that is the interesting study here. Who are those people? And then why did they go and vote for Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell?
Well, the rumor is
you got a lot of Saudi money in Kentucky.
You really do. But the rumor is McConnell's wife, she got a lot of those factories on lock close to Cincinnati. Lots of pay and lots of pay to play and vote. So that's the rumor. But I bet you that there's some truth to that seed.
I bet so, because people like her don't seem like they just go home either and retire and start playing mahjong, right?
No.
So speaking about that too, Gretchen Whitmer won in Michigan again, and they passed legislation that makes abortion even more open. Like they really progress like the whole area of abortion. So she did okay.
Absolutely, and I love her. I think she could run for president.
Yeah. You are reading my alleged mind right there. I think there may be something there.
What?
About her running.
Absolutely, she should. Because first of all, that woman and those women that were her, like the attorney general, those women were like a marvel the way they pulled that down through the pandemic and through all of this. So I love her judgment, her strength, and you don't have to like her in order for her to get. I think there's something fantastic about her.
Yeah.
And I think that he might make her the vice president if he runs again. And I think that he'll step down in the middle of the next term.
Well, we'll save that for a moment. Yes, because I've been thinking about it for a number of years.
Because I think Joe is going to make sure we have a female president.
I do too. I feel that way, but I don't think it's going to be Kamala.
No, I don't think it is either. And I don't think it really should be, because she hasn't figured out how to angle it to get out of this enough. Too many, and I get it. But I do believe that the strategy would probably work better to let him run, have a great running mate, and he will step down after 2024 at some point or whatever, or she will be, or however it works. He'll know. Okay. That Scorpio, I ain't messing with it. He knows what he's doing.
J. Rugg says, wish we had won in North Carolina and Wisconsin. We didn't spend in the former.
I know, isn't it a shame we have to spend so much money that could go to homeless people on the street? It's kind of disgusting,
really,
and it's really no excuse for it. It's like, y'all know there's an election coming. Somebody actually has to go and spend money to remind you. You can't do research. This little thing makes it easier for all of us to know what's true and what isn't anymore if you do a little digging. But I blame North Carolina and Wisconsin because they just are. We should not have to spend money. The rest of the world looks at us like we're crazy. We that's what
I'm saying. We never, like, you can't even walk down the street in LA anymore. And I know New York has always had this problem. And I've actually started seeing a huge uptick of homeless here in Kentucky, which is quite frightening. Yes. And then you go to the restaurants and you see them just throwing out food. We're so wasteful.
Yeah.
But you're spending money that doesn't mean, how are you helping mankind? This money being spent on this means nothing. I'd rather see people eating.
Well, we had Governor Newsom passed a law here because there was this really weird thing where even in New York, you would see all these dumpster divers and stuff going for food that just wasn't really bad. It hadn't even, you could go and find a steak in a dumpster and go home and make it because of certain laws about expiration and all of this stuff. And it was, restaurants were not even allowed to donate it to a shelter. Well, I know here, Newsom got rid of that and made it where it can now go from that, because all of it was about the Department of Health and safety issues. And we saw you got everybody running around here with, for real, the CDC and the health department took a long time to get there. So Newsom just went on and said, let it be. You know, death by starvation or salmonella. I don't know.
I just love him. I don't care what anybody says. I know everybody politician.
Now he could run and have Gretchen as a running mate, which
yeah,
I love Newsom. I love
That would
him.
be an interesting combination. Well,
Absolutely.
It'd be a winner, ding ding, chicken dinner.
Totally. Yeah, it really would be. I love Governor Newsom.
Okay. Regina says,
and his wife does documentaries, which is like, to me, just
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
There you go. Regina goes, where do the polls get their info? I remember them calling on landlines back in the day, but who has a landline now?
And who's answering? Ain't nobody answering these landlines. Even my mother-in-law's like, take us off your list, thank you.
Well, also, what about me, who I clown around on with phone calls? Like, hello, how you doing? Yeah, I like that. No, thank you. Or I go like, how y'all doing, sweet thing? Well, I'm not living there anymore. I'm living down in Tennessee. And yes, and I love him. I'm not really truthful on these surveys when they come through. If I get, and I'm always looking to be on it, just like I always want to serve on jury duty, and I never get picked.
I've actually been to jury.
Never.
I'm glad that I did it.
They never put me on the trial. I get all the way to the, and then I get cut. I'm like,
do they watch you on this show? Maybe that's it.
They go in the back room.
They Google Jill Jones. They go, oh, state of things with okay.
And the survey people are like, I don't know. Howdy, y'all. How y'all?
Cinema says, welcome, Cinema. Wishful thinking. Walker taking care of his children. She has a thinking emoji. Green-eyed, welcome. Good to see you. What else? J-Rug, yes, too much dark money and all those outside ads like Citizens for Sanity.
I know. I thought it was a blue jean when I saw Citizens for Sanity. I was like, oh, this new blue jean line that just came out.
Okay. Regina says, Newsom against DeSantis would be interesting. Yes, it would.
Oh, he trounced him.
Yes. I just saw that picture of DeSantis in those boots, girl. Oh, and they weren't even Hunter boots. I was like, what boots are these?
And white people were furious because he made them wait to get for a photo op. He literally waited and put everybody on the side so that he could take photo ops instead of them getting the care that they needed. And the people who were trying to get the supplies to the hurricane people were like, are you kidding me? Really?
Wow.
You want us to stop because you want a photo op? And the guy said, I'm sorry, but
How crazy is that? I mean, and they were almost like waiters because he's got such short legs. It's like they were like, wow, like how small is he? I kept looking at the scale of it all. Like
Jill.
Something was off.
And you see what Cinema says? Sexy white boots DeSantis.
Kinky boots. I love that movie, by the way. Loved it.
Oh my goodness. So Cinnamon, you're following with everybody. Green Eyed says, what if I guess Biden steps down now and VP Harris chooses? He won't step down right now. No. He won't.
And there's also a big thing, and I have heard. Now I'm going to be really about Stacey Abrams, not just the black men throwing her under the bus. But there have been people who have said that she's, wants things very much her way, which is fine. And I get that. We have to also wonder about some of a black woman. They say, oh, you don't want to criticize somebody. Everybody says, you're working for us, we're a little bossy. So I always have to judge the source of it, but it's very hard. She may be so hands-on herself and doesn't trust her team enough that can make it where you end up not getting the result you need because there's something wrong. It's happened too many times on a level.
Yeah, because for her to finish worse the second time.
Yeah, something happened.
And I won't attribute it all to black men. That I know. But I think there's something bigger going on there, and
I think her last interviews, there were things that there was a noticeable change in her demeanor.
yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see where her next step is.
It is going to be interesting, but I see her. I still see her in that type of platform doing something behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
I don't see government wise. I think she's more effective non-government than in government.
But Kemp,
you need to leave it out.
He also they gerrymandered some areas for her that left her really hanging. So, and God only knows how many people they were rounding up and arresting during election day. That's another thing that goes on down there.
This is
believe
where
it or not.
All their well-laid plans showed themselves well.
Do they have the situation that's happened in some of the states that when they returned certain ballots that people have a week to get back to correct them? Remember, we had a few notifications. I'd never heard of them ever doing that, but they did it in.
That went away.
They did it in a couple states, and a few people did. I think they did it in PA, in Pennsylvania. I'd never heard of them ever putting a list of your names who had their ballots returned. And I was wondering, but I think they've already decided that they're going to have the runoff with Warnock and Herschel soon.
Oh yeah, that's been decided. That is happening. That is happening. So let's take what are your thoughts about the Republican Party? Well, how do they stand after Tuesday?
It shows that it shows exactly what they're doing, imploding. They're imploding. They're now two different parties within the same party.
Their loyalties are going to be very, like, who should they trust? Kevin McCarthy? Or if they plan on running in 2 more years, it's going to be like, that Jerry Seinfeld episode where it was like tippy toe, tippy toe, tippy toes. It's like, you got to like watch what they're doing, because before, they had that on lock. Like, we're all going to stand in solidarity, but the party is divided.
It's divided.
You've got MGT, who's going for Kevin McCarthy's job, by the way.
Oh, yes. And how back in there.
That's what's horrible about Georgia. Hey, guys, remember, there were people in Georgia after slavery was over that had no idea, just like Texas, because it's so rural, and they still keep it as rural as some country. There's a reason Janelle Monáe did that movie, that she was down in Georgia and they abducted her and put her on like a slave farm. That could possibly happen. It might already be happening.
Well, it just really seems that a lot of people that supported 45 lost.
Well, the worst part is in Wisconsin, John what's-his-face won again, and there's something, and it was quick. What's bothering me about some of these establishment people, it was so quick the way they won.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, Kentucky, like the most despicable Russian people and their alliances. You know what I'm saying? And now Russia is retreating. It's so freaking weird to me. It's strange. Yeah. It's just kind of creepy. Like Kyrson or wherever that is. Yeah. And then Wisconsin was like done in a zip. Rand Paul done in a zip. It doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Not even a slug out fest. You can't tell me that there aren't people in Kentucky who are like, I'm sick. My brother's in Kentucky. Right. But you can't tell. So what happened? Are they like, keeping people from the polls? I mean, what is going on? And it needs to be investigated.
I think it does, but I think whoever is going to do that, they're getting paid off as well, because it's been happening too long.
I agree, because it's the poorest state, and these people are the most passive, compliant, poor folks I ever seen. Yes. They're like, please, no, don't give me a handout. No, I'm so poor. I got to go find my teeth. Let me go find my teeth over here. I mean, it's something weird. And on the year that Loretta Lynn died, it's like, wow.
God, yes.
Was Loretta Lynn a racist, by the way?
No.
I have no
Some people have said that she was. I wasn't really sure.
I really don't believe she was.
I always thought she seemed rather kind when,
But I tell you, ain't nobody gonna beat my Dolly, period.
Yeah.
Love my Dolly.
So
I know, Dolly.
So let me ask, so what is the political landscape as we now sit and saying the House isn't decided yet, but it looks like it's going to be Republican.
Well, I don't know. Isn't it quite historic that we have so few seats, that they won so few, the Republicans? It never, how come the media wasn't telling us before? Well, typically the House goes to, whoever. They never mentioned it. We always find out stuff like the shoe dropped after. And then we go, oh, it's historic. Why weren't you all about that before the election? But they weren't. Right. So after it starts to happen, the MSN and CNN, all of a sudden, it's like, well, historically, when Nixon was in and Obama was in, he lost 40 seats. This one lost 30. This one, I never even heard of that. They're so good with reconfiguring and jiggering the numbers, because the reality is apparently Biden will, if we lose those seats, it's only 15? Maybe. I don't even know anymore, Dr. Vibe. To be honest with you, I don't even know how the House works anymore, the way they've been doing it. I'm like, what the fuck? What? Because they waited so long. I had to make a little list, take pictures on my phone and go, what am I waiting for? Right. I used to know.
Yes.
And they've all just done air talk just to keep the airwaves open with a bunch of word salad. Blah, 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 word salad, word salad, word salad, word salad.
And then they throw in the word woke every once
in a while. Word salad, woke, word salad. Word salad,
woke people.
We'll be back right after this message.
And in fact, the word woke, DeSantis said in his 3-minute speech, he said woke 55 times, because now that's the key word.
Can we take our word back from them?
That's the gaslight word now for the Republican Party.
Honestly, we got to find a new word. They take all the words and they mess them up.
So before the election, the country was divided. Is it more divided today?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, like I said before, America is going to burn all the way to the ground before any kind of changes is going to happen. It's going to have to be a phoenix rising, and we may not be alive when it happens, but we're seeing it start before our eyes. We are seeing this slow burn, and after a while, it's going to be a full-on flame. Now, I won't be here by the time that happens, but I see it coming, and I'm standing on that rock. It's going to burn down. We are divided. We can look at each other in the face and not know who we're speaking to anymore. And it could be somebody who looks just like you, and you don't know exactly what they're thinking or doing.
Yeah, we've had some really interesting identity issues. It's not even identity politics and lack of self-awareness in our country. It's possible. I mean, I still think that I still give it a little bit of hope, but I am concerned that I know that the more they probe Trump and put him on the skewer, he's going to sing like a bird. And that will be painful for America to watch how many he takes down. Because Donald Trump is the type of guy that he's like, if I'm going down, y'all going. And I know that because I have a Gemini ascendant, and I'm kind of the same way. Like, y'all going to back me up in a corner? I'm like, he's like the, who was that badger? Like a honey badger. He will take all of them down. He's already started saying about DeSantis, how he helped him win the election, and Rick Scott, all of them. He basically outed himself as committing a fraudulent election on behalf of Ron DeSantis already. So that's just the tip. Can you imagine how many other things he has on people? He is going to destroy them. If I were a Republican, you ask what they would be doing. They need to decide how hard they're going to throw him under the bus, and what they're going to do, because he is not going to keep quiet, and he will not go gently into this good night, right?
Will not.
No. And that's what could take us down.
He loves the attention, period. He loves anytime you say his name.
But he's not. It's like what they just discovered with Amy Coney Barrett. She went out there and made an this weekend, got $2 million for a book advance talking about how there's no biases needed in the Supreme Court. But she made a joke about our rights and abortion rights. This is somebody that he appointed. These people may have to even chug harder at his you-know-what in order to survive if they ditch him, because he is not playing. That DeSantis commentary was a warning. It was a warning for everybody. Like, on each one of you who has sucked on all of you.
Sure will. He tells on himself all the
He
time.
does. He does. And he's going to be telling on a lot of people. So, poor Lindsey Graham is a shell of a human.
Oh,
I mean, good
honey.
God.
I can't wait to see him go down. That's one thing I'm definitely.
She looks like she's in her cups every day now. Worried, just wringing her hands, worried. Oof. Don't make sense. You're like, Lindsay, girl, go home.
Go take a nap. Go
Yeah, it's like,
damn it.
ooh, you worrying me. She needs her vapors. She's out there going, ooh, we're going to lose the house.
So with the House, with it apparently looking, it's going to be divided. Democrats in the Senate, House Representatives, Republican. Is anything going to get done?
No.
No,
and I hear that the Republicans are saying that if they get in the House, they're going to impeach Hunter Biden. They're going to go out and try to impeach also Biden, both Bidens.
For what? My question is, for what? You're going to impeach him on?
I think it'll be a really big mistake if they do that, because I really think that some stuff will come out, and it will be laws that you didn't even know existed, but they will exist, because if they have the Senate, they will pass them and it will get done, because it's just going to, things will change, and it's going to be aggressive. Hopefully, some of the younger people who've come in, and there are some people who might be willing to work with, everyone has to understand who their constituents were. They're all walking a fine line. This Lauren Boebert in Colorado, I don't know, did she win or did she not?
Honey, she is having a fit. She is. I don't think
she's like, praise God. Everybody throws in Jesus. It's like, first of all, people, please stop the association with him, because you don't even represent Jesus. You represent something so gross. It's not even funny. And, I was looking at her crowd the other day, and all these men just looking at her. That's why they voted for her. She was a hooker, wasn't she?
Yes.
Or
she was a call girl.
Call girl. It's kind of like when Italy had the porn star back in the 80s that ran, men, Dr. Vibe, I know you don't want to hear it, but sometimes your gender, they're old, dirty old men were sitting in the audience, and she plays it up. And that's how she got some of her votes. And I still wouldn't be surprised if she went and was servicing folks to get those votes.
I wouldn't either. But your girl Marjorie did the same thing.
Your jury duty is not looking good.
They might not call me after.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's people must really have foot fetishes, and those damn she has. It looked like,
You can't let go of that. You keep on mentioning that all the time.
Yeah, I know. I don't have the best looking feet either, but it was kind of novel to see somebody who had something that was wow, this is crazy. No, I know. I go after her a lot. But you're going to see she's doing a little bit of she wants to get her children's innocence bill passed desperately. It's about let children be innocent is her thing. And in the meantime, it's a joke, actually. These are some crazy, crazy times that we're in. I don't know, Dr. Vibe, if they'll be able to all get along.
She's ridiculous. She shouldn't have to be up there, period. She should have no stand. She basically determined in her life she was going to be famous somehow. And when she couldn't get on America's Best Talent, she was going for the political thing. Because why not? Because it's a three-way circus, right?
So Regina says dopey Hunter Biden and his 3.5 million, or Jared Kushner and his $2 billion from the Saudis. Give me a break.
Yeah, people have really let the whole Jared Kushner thing really go, and really gone after Hunter Biden. Sure, I kind of now am starting to be like, name one family that doesn't have somebody in their family like Hunter Biden. Please,
Kennedy's had some very interesting things going on in their family.
Exactly, and to be honest with you, after hearing about the car accident, and then the boys found dead on top of their dead mother and their dead sister, and there's a lot of trauma, and I'm not really interested in grilling a person who has so much loss in their life. That's not me, and it'll never be me. I won't do it. I don't know what their coping mechanisms are, but I can only imagine there's just some great pain, and I'm not going to do it. Now, Jared Kushner, on the other hand, I think if we just go with why do they have $2 billion from a government that basically hired people to fly planes into buildings here of ours? Why?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, obviously, when we come on next week, this story ain't done yet. Midterms.
It's
Well,
gonna be
it'll at least go on till December with the Georgia runoff. So we got a few more. And even then, the Republicans changed it. The runoff used to be 2 months campaign. It's now only a 1 month campaign. So Warnock and Hirschwald got to hit the ground running.
They're already ready.
Yeah.
I know some friends who are flying out, already booked their tickets, ready to do canvassing.
Yeah. So that's a big election. So in lieu of this, next conversation topic, the upcoming announcement this Tuesday by 45.
A new hairstylist? I don't know. I don't know. What do we think? A new wig maker?
So, do you think he's going to announce his campaign?
Of course, he's going to announce it just to secure and try to save himself, so that old Merrick, whatever, is going to be stumbled again. Darn it! I don't know which way did he go. Which way did he go?
He likes too much attention. I'm not so sure. I think he'll drag it out as long as he needs to drag it out.
Exactly, and it is starting to be like that.
So here's the next question. I guess you put it in two ways. Is it he doing it for himself, or is he doing it for the Republican Party?
Himself.
And he also gets more money, because remember, he took most of the money that gets donated, right? Yeah. Let's see if that Rona, whatever her name is, Rona Barrett or Rona McDaniel, or anything to be able to get. No, she's like at his mercy.
Yeah.
Stupid woman. What a stupid nitwit.
Well. I wonder if who's going to be his running mate this time.
Probably Pence would volunteer.
Okay, what about this name, Sarah Huckabee?
Didn't she just win governor?
She won governor, yes.
Well, maybe she'd do it.
That's right.
Right, but she's not popular enough nationwide, I don't think. But they would take her.
They would take her.
Yeah.
Because they see she's right under his wing. They would take her.
Yeah, but how awful.
I'm just saying.
That's possible.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But what I have heard is 45 is not blaming himself for last Tuesday. It was the people's campaigns. They didn't run good enough campaigns. He has no blame. It has nothing to do with him what happened last Tuesday.
Right. Exactly. He'll never blame himself.
He's never going to ever admit anything that has anything to do with him because he's ridiculous.
Yes.
Everything good is all on him. Anything bad, it wasn't my fault.
Exactly. If you listen to some of those Bob Woodward tapes, it's kind of interesting because they said there was one point where he was asked on the tape, like, who comes up with these ideas and all these plans? And he said, everything is my idea. Everything.
Yes, I heard that. I heard that piece of the tape. Yep.
I mean, he's never going to give anybody any credit, like you guys say, unless he'll scold them when it goes bad.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just so, what's so interesting to me is to watch all of the ones who left his administration now having jobs and pundits and stuff. Yeah. And they're such, they did absolutely nothing. And they look so weak. They're such weak human beings, but they're in the world of politics. That's how it goes. But, they're just kind of clown ass. And they want us to think that they were in the White House preventing him from doing something.
Right.
And I don't buy that for $100 because the reality is nobody tells Donald Trump what to do. Nobody. They never have, and they never will.
Them ketchup stains off.
Exactly. They will never be able to, but they want to all pretend like why they sat back sucking up food and heat that, oh, but because we were trying to make sure he didn't send off a nuclear missile. He don't want to kill himself. No, you all did not get him. They did not get him at all.
That doesn't gain him something back. He lined up everything to make sure that he
quid
what he
pro quo.
Exactly. And he sold this country for all of the broke down parts he could break it down with. He was that guy who came in and he dismantles stuff because he's done it with his own company and his own buildings. He knows how to sell it off for every he can make some kind of money. He had to divide it so much in order to do so. And for every piece of action that he put in installation, that he put that idiot in the post office, the other one in the IRS, all of them.
Don't forget Carson and Hood.
He got paid and SCOTUS, and they still haven't had to turn over his tax returns. Let's all it's safe to assume. Can we just move on?
I'm ready to move on.
Anybody laying down on the railroad tracks to hide that, there's a problem, B.
Okay.
Agree.
All right. So let's come to our last conversation piece, and it's still lingering on. Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai says he believes that Nets Kyrie Irving, quote, does not have any beliefs of hate towards Jewish people. And also Adam Silvers had a conversation with Kyrie Irving this week and said he's not anti-Semite. I just went, I going, okay. I went, interesting. This story hasn't quit yet. And one of the things we discussed before we came on live, Jill was not aware of the conditions that the Brooklyn Nets made to Kyrie Irving before he could come back and play with them. So I'm just going to put them up here for Jill to see. Here we go. Let's just do this. Yes. So this is reportedly what Mr. Irving has to do. He has to apologize and condemn the film he promoted. He has to make a $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes. He has to complete sensitivity training, complete anti-Semitism training, meet with the Anti-Defamation League and Jewish leaders, and then meet with the team owner, Joe Tsai, to demonstrate an understanding of the situation.
I think that's going, I get it, but it's still on a certain level, it is still freedom of speech. And we have asked people to be fired and sacked and whatever, and they should just fire him if they want him to do all that stuff. Because the reality is, I get it, but the ADL is also going after Bella Hadid, who is Palestinian and has some really strong feelings about that. We can't let an organization completely come into all this, but he opened himself up to, like, the other thing is, you got to know who you're in bed with. And that just says a lot. They don't think he's racist and has an issue against Jewish people. Yes, he does. He said it. Now they're just giving him the opportunity because he makes them money.
That's all.
It's such a very disingenuous thing.
Jill, where did he say he said he has a problem? Is it by the tweet you think he has something against Jewish people?
I think the stereotypical tropes. I mean, I think we can safely assume even aligning with Kanye, it's kind of like there. Granted, maybe he didn't say it, maybe he did. There's too many people coming out about it, right?
It is a lot of people coming out about it, but I think the whole thing is they try to make examples of only certain people. And then also when it comes down to other cultures needing their allyship, sometimes they're not willing to give that either. But Jill is totally right. You cannot come out against those who put the money in your pocket. You simply cannot. But this is one of the reasons I do support Ice Cube and at least trying to do his own sports thing with his big three.
Absolutely.
We need more teams of our own, not just the rich. Now, I have a different feeling against Jay-Z and Bezos trying to buy the Commanders. I'm wondering what kind of bedship that would make. But until we have our own, keep your mouth shut. There really, even though we say there is freedom of speech, there is no freedom of speech. People pick and choose
True.
what they're going to crucify you for, and they will come after you.
True. But I do feel like we don't have any solidarity. Why wouldn't he go, like even Jay-Z? It's like everybody's going into bed with Jeff Bezos. I get it. But I don't really see enough of them pulling enough other people up there with them.
No.
That's what I don't see.
But
and that's why we don't small business things. Right. We don't, because we start to compete with each other when we see somebody coming over our shoulders. And that's just an ingrained slave mentality that's from trauma, and it's been passed on from the energy from your parents, from your grandparents, from everybody. It's there. And if you don't keep bringing people along with you, I mean, let's be honest, people have developed these weird allegiances to people like a Beyonce or a Jay-Z because they've reached a certain status. But how many other people are they bringing with them?
Right.
That are sitting there in their own houses and doing all of this. It was kind of like, even with Prince, it was like, you want to do all the work, but the rest of us don't get to even own it. I mean, it's like, that is something that's in us as a culture. And it really, because that's wrong. So if we keep blaming Jewish people because they were enslaved, the Egyptians started it. Let's be honest. And look, they still managed to get to the top. Where are we? And oh my God, Kyrie said this, you work for these people. If somebody working for me talked about me like a goddamn dog, you would not
be working for me.
You wouldn't
be working for me.
No,
you
I don't need that.
Hand to feed you. And that's one of the first things my mother taught me. You don't.
And the only reason he still has his job is because of the politics behind being a black man.
Yes.
And what could happen? Oh my God, are they going to come and burn down the stadium? You know, why are we doing all this for people who don't have our backs? Where are the jobs that Kyrie has for our people in a community? I'm sure he does something, but I'm sure he gets a really nice chunk tax write-off for it. And didn't we learn enough from Amber Heard when she talked about pledging versus really charity? I mean, let's be honest. You see how they do? $100 million, $7 million, and didn't turn over a dime and got the applause for it. They all do that. It's time. I'm not defending somebody who's got $1 gazillion and hasn't. Kyrie brought that on himself. And he hasn't done anything to enhance my life. So why the hell? And he's always, this is not the first time.
No.
It's like, you know.
But
yeah,
my
he does.
question is, fine, that's great. Okay, fine. All right. We all know all that. But I still like to know, how come this is still getting more attention than freaking Brett Favre? Somebody please tell me. Why is that different? Because
it was done in Mississippi, and it's regular old cornbread crackers, white people that are Southern white supremacists who have had their, they don't care. And that it's different.
The Brett Favre thing is messy.
It's horrendous. But the only way you need to go and say, where's the attorney general stepping in? Because they have to do that. The reality of that is very different. It's kind of a false equivalency. And I get what you're saying, Lala, but for me, it's like, I can't keep also pitting that stuff either. Like, well, what about this? It's like Kyrie basically, and all of them want a stronghold and manipulate young minds in our community and play like they're really doing so much when they're actually doing the least in our community. They want so much fucking attention. They're not Magic Johnson. They're not Michael Jordan. Right. They're not even of that caliber. They're not even of the fiber. That's you got some weird school that Kanye was walking through, like having kids singing Donda like a bunch of. I mean, come on. How long are we going to let them just be screwball?
I agree with you on that at all.
Jesus.
No, I can't. I can't.
Please give those parents back their $15,000. And then they want to make it like a culture war. Like, this is the black culture. No. This is
No.
not going to get our young people very far.
No.
We need.
They were already at a disadvantage. Look at it now.
Yeah. The biggest disadvantage is to see somebody making that much money and they didn't realize that they are owned.
That's right.
I think on that point, we done. All right.
Tonight.
You did, right?
Well, hey, you spent most of the time talking about the election, so that just rocked and rolled, family. That just rocked and rolled. One other thing, just gonna put up comment-wise, and Joe, you like this, Regina? Saturn is not favorable to Trump 45 right now.
She's bang on. It's really true, and it's really not. It's looking crazy.
All right. That's another epic conversation. They call it.
He's going to be singing. Remember how he was doing money, 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 money?
Yeah.
He's about to start singing Burn, Baby, Burn. Tear the mother down.
There's 2 years to go. There's 2 years to go. 2 years ago, great conversation, everyone. Thank you, Jen, for hanging out with us. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us. And as always, before we let the ladies go and relax after such a intense dialogue, we'd like them to say how they can be found. So first up, we've got Lala.
You can find me at Realty Goddess on all platforms. I am kind of a social media freak, so you can't miss.
Yes, you are. You post at least once a day, minimum.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are the content creation is important.
Yes, it is.
All right. And then there she is.
I'm at Jill D. Jones on Twitter and Jill Jones Music. And I guess, I was singing when we mentioned Kyrie earlier. I was like, "Oh man, river, it keeps rolling."
When is the Jill comment impersonation and cover album? I think that's.
I know we gotta remember this is America, and it's not everything that we need it to be yet. But we can't. We got to call each other out on some of our crazy in order to come together and make a movement that really is consistent for our people and really our young people. They really need a lot, and they need truth and they need guidance.
Well, and they did say that during this midterm, a lot of them came out and voiced their opinions.
And wait, I got to say, I was wrong. Okay, I have slagged off like Gen Z because I've been like, where the hell are they? And now I realize they're not going to be on anything I'm on. I'm a boomer. They're like, old lady, go home. So, but they really did it. And you know what? And also because I was really concerned about the tools and them having the tools to fight what these old people are trying to do. And yeah, I'm a little bit uptight but I was so proud of them because they do have the tools. And more importantly, they got the cojones and that chutzpah and all of it, and they're going to do it. They were not going to be any longer.
Okay. Well, young people, Jill loves you again. So you can get a hold of me at thedrvibeshow.com. Email dr@thedrvibeshow.com. YouTube and Facebook, The Dr. Vibe Show. Twitter at The Dr. Vibe Show. Instagram, thedrvibeshow.com. So as always, we'd like to say thanks everyone for taking time to watch the conversation. You can catch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and on my website. So one other thing, if you'd like to promote your business or your service on the show, contact me at dr@thedrvibeshow.com. As always, to close off with this, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. We will be back next week. We're speaking that Aisha will get her voice back because we'll need to get her take on the election because we ain't moving forward without Aisha's take on the election. So we'll probably do election part 2 next week to start off the conversation. And we will get to a music show before the end of the year. You have demanded it. So God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith, walk good, and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Keep the faith.